Alright, y'all. So, as I promised, here I am, him with him plus one reactions. And it's my story. I've been saying I'm going to go live stream. It will not allow me. I don't know what I have to do that, but I will figure it out one day. Anyway, let's jump right into this thing. But before we do, be sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video, and hit that bell to stay notified for when we drop our next one. So, growing up, I lived with my mom and dad until I was 4 years old. My mom and dad got separated. My mom was also a drug addict, and that's the reason they were separating. She couldn't raise me and my older brother because she was on drugs. And my dad couldn't because he was working all of the time. So my grandparents took us in, and God bless them. Gary and Betsy Kelly, if it wasn't for y'all, I probably wouldn't be alive today to be sitting here telling this story. But anyway, so my grandparents own a pretty decent sized farm. Farm tobacco, soybeans, hay, corn, cattle. I mean, you name it, your typical farm. They own like 36 tractors, and instantly I'm at work. I'm 5, 6 years old, out on that farm on 140 or Super A, pulling tobacco sleds with a little 2x4 block bungee strap to the clutch so I could pull forward and stop. So the laborers, employees could throw the tobacco in the sleds. That's what I did. I was raised to work. My grandpa's slave drove me. Literally. That's what I did every day. All summer long working the tobacco fields. And then when we weren't doing tobacco, there's always the soybeans, the corn, the planting of the crops. There's always something to be done on a farm, from working on the tractors to fixing this, fixing that, fixing fence, cows, this, that, whatever. Y'all know. So anyway, that sounds brought up. I'm going to work for this roof over my head. I'm going to work for these clothes on my body, and I'm going to work for this food that they're putting out on this table. That's what I'm going to do. Whether you like it or not, you going to do it. That's how my grandpa was raised. I don't even think my grandpa went to school. I honestly don't think that he went to school. I think he also grew up on a farm. My grandpa Shack and great grandpa Shack and great grandma Treva, y'all rest in peace. I didn't know my great grandpa Shack too well, but I knew great grandma Treva real well. That's where all the family get-togethers and things were. But anyway, so let's fast forward to when I was 15, 16. I had knee problems, from working so much to I skateboarded for like 8 years, rode dirt bikes, played basketball, baseball, played soccer for a little while. I was always active. And my knee took a beating. Well, a doctor in Broadway, North Carolina decided he was going to put this 15, 16-year-old on Oxycontin 20 milligrams. I took him like prescribed for 2 months. The third month I went back, he said, I'm going to refer you to a pain clinic in Chapel Hill. I told him straight out, I said, I don't want the pain pills. I want this problem with my knee fixed. That's all I want. And if y'all don't know, the three hardest things to find out there's actually a problem with is your knees, your back, and your neck. So I went through years of trying to go into doctor, trying to figure out the problem. Anyway, that's besides the point. Let's get back to the Oxycontin. Took them like prescribed, blah, blah, blah. Pain clinic. No, I don't want pain pills. Oh, well, you're a pillhead. Calls me a pillhead. Cuts me off. No more pain pills. Because I said I didn't want the pills. I want the problem fixed. That makes me a pillhead. Okay, whatever. But anyway, so from there, I knew nothing about withdrawals. I knew nothing about pain pills, the side effects, what they did to you. Like, I knew I felt good when I took them. I knew that. I won't feel no pain. But I remember it was that night or the night after We were out in Spring Lane, right in front of Spring Lane Cinemas at BP. I believe we were going to the movies or something that night. I remember Thomas Wilson being there, Danielle Perkins. There's a couple other people there too. I can't quite remember, but then all of a sudden it's June or July, and I just feel so sick. It's like I had the flu, just like that. Just sweating and feel like I'm on vomiting, hot, cold, shivering, shaking. It's crazy. I'm like, yo, I gotta go home. Like, take me home. Well, the next day, we had this couple that was renting a trailer on the farm, and the guy actually helped my grandpa work on the farm, and he was a daggone hard worker. But they come to find out they abused pain pills. They had an opiate addiction. When I told them what was going on, they're like, here, sniff this, you'll feel better. It was a Percocet 512. I can't remember if it was a half or a whole. I believe a half, but as soon as I snorted it up my nose, I felt normal again. I felt like me. So from there on, that was it. From doing 2 to 3 a day, I was just trying not to be sick, but I was still feeling good at the same time. But so that went on for a while, you know, from 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 10 to 20. How people don't think 20 Percocets can be done within a 24-hour period. Okay. Anyway. But, you know, my family, they started realizing what was going on. They done raised my mother, my uncle, rest in peace to you, Uncle Larry, and my aunt. And they all had their demons as well. So they weren't new to this at all, by no means. So I didn't come out and tell them then, especially my grandpa. I never asked my grandpa for a dime. Lord, no. Nope. My grandma was giving me money behind his back. And, you know, I mean, I'm talking about throughout my addiction, I probably manipulated my grandma and technically grandparents, because it was both their money, they're married, out of millions of dollars. From everything together, the hotel rooms to the actual physical money handed to me. It's unreal. I mean, they were, I wouldn't say rich, but wealthy. They owned a decent sized farm. You know. Anyway, so I finally came out and told my grandma. Now I'm like 18 or so. I finally came out and told her, hey, I'm on pills. I'm on drugs. But that was just to manipulate her, out of getting money from her to help me quit. I'm gonna wean myself down. I need $200 to go get enough Percocets to, you know, wean myself down slowly. Yeah, okay. Heck no, I'm gonna do them things right up. But I'm just a master manipulator. Like, I could make a white person believe they was black. Literally. Like, I was that good. Sad. But it got to the point where grandma won't come off that money. And grandpa found out grandpa won't have it. So it was, remember them, they called the law on me, take out trespassing charges. And what's crazy is I actually lived on the property. There's the main house, and there's one trailer down behind their house below the shop where the laborers usually stay for tobacco that we get legally from Mexico, H-2A workers, and they are treated very well. Living much better than they were living in Mexico anyways. But anyways, and then there's 2 more trailers way off back there where the greenhouse is. So there's several different addresses, but you got to use their driveway to get to them. So I was living in there with the restraining order that I couldn't be on that property. Imagine how tricky that was when the law seen me in there, because the law was after me. I've been to jail now, I don't know, 20 times. From the age of 16 to 18, like literally. You know, and I'm leaving out little bits and pieces because this video can only be so long, but they're minor bits and pieces that don't really matter. Anyway, so they're taking out trespassing papers, 50 beats. That did not stop me. Nothing's gonna stop me from getting my fix, to where I'd find the spare key to their house and go in their bedroom and knowing there's gonna be money or something in there. And they'd have little envelopes with thousands of dollars in it. I'd take 100 out, go back the next day, take 200 out, until that money had disappeared or was gone or I spent it all or whatever. But then sometimes I didn't have a vehicle. They leave the keys in the vehicle, so I just go hop in the vehicle and go to the drug dealer's house with a 50B against me. Like, I don't care. I don't care the consequences. I'm going to get high. I'm not going to be sick. So then it got worse. I was introduced to this lovely thing called Opana, which I thought was lovely, the lovely green monster. Whew. Them things, they really got you beyond high. Whew. Even once prescribed them at one point. And, did those for a while. But, anyway, so I met my first fiance, Nancy Kennington. Rest in peace, Nancy. Who never did drugs. She was older than me. I was 19, 20 at the time. And she was quite older than me. A beautiful woman. Beautiful. Now, unless she's looking down on me now, but I had started dating her and it just kind of randomly happened. But anyway, I was good friends with one of her daughters at one point in time before that. And, that daughter didn't stay there no more. I came over to see somebody else. Not like that, a friend of mine, and anyway, so we started, we ended up dating. I moved in and I asked her to marry me. It was sometime in December and literally January 2nd, but it was literally like, it started the night the ball dropped. And right when that ball dropped, like not long after that is when it all started. She had no spleen and she had got a cold. So from there to the second, back and forth to hospitals. They keep sending her home, whatever. Well, she died January 2nd. And I actually cleaned up my act while I was going to the methadone clinic. But, to my family, it looked like I cleaned up my act. I was doing good. I wasn't bothering them for money. I was, because I didn't need them because technically I was living here and so I wasn't there. I was irrelevant. Didn't really bother them. I still actually didn't go and work on the farm. That's how much they thought I changed. And really I did. I was just on methadone. I didn't have to worry. Not having that worry of having to find that fix and that high, not being sick takes a lot away from somebody. So they're almost like a little bit of a different person because they know it's there. They just gotta go get it. Boom, simple. Don't have to worry about nothing. It's completely legal to be higher than you've ever been in your life, people. It's completely legal. Ain't that crazy? The government making money off the suffering. Anyway, methadone's the worst thing I could have ever took. But when she passed away January 2nd, I thought I dealt with it fine. Really, I didn't. I started messing around with meth and anything you could think of. But, then I remember, I gained friends by now, acquaintances. Nobody in that life is your friend, people. Know that. They just use you for what you got. You got drugs, you sharing, okay, I'm on the way to your house, so come get me. But when you need them, they ain't ever there for you. Anyway, I never needed them anyway. So, they started shooting up. It's like a trend. Okay, well, I'm terrified of needles. To this day, if I go to the emergency room to get a shot, I'll cry like a baby. I got tattoos, but I could stick myself with a needle. Because I guess I was doing it myself and I knew what was coming behind that, so I didn't care. So, anyway, started using drugs IV. That went on. And then I got off methadone because in You can actually Google this. It was like worldwide news. It was crazy. Not worldwide, but in America. I was involved in a drug deal gone wrong. It won't be dealing. I literally just got picked up and was riding with my brother. So, anyway, he gave the guy what he was supposed to give him. And I guess that guy didn't give the person he was getting them for the right amount. And we pulled off. Everything was good. Next thing you hear, gunshots going off. We didn't have enough gun on us. We're in a 90-some model Nissan Altima. Dookie green was the color. And they're in a Dodge Ram 1500. We're doing 120 miles per hour. Even that car, oh, this guy, he's driving, I'm riding. Going down 421 from Mamers toward Broadway. He's on the phone with the police driving, weaving in and out of traffic, bullets flying, you hear glass shattering. I mean, clip after clip. They shot the car 13 times. Scariest moment of my life. Just hear bullets, shoom, 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 shoom. Like, I don't know how I'm sitting here before you today. I do not know how. Anyway, we got to a red light right there, Broadway Road in 421. The red light turned red. They're right behind us and they actually hit the car and kind of turned us sideways. And me and my brother both got shot by Model 22 Glock 40. Anyway, guess who went to jail? We did. They said that we robbed them. We got charged with armed robbery. I was at the hospital, questioned, and put in handcuffs as soon as I was released from the hospital. And so was my brother, of course. They can't do nothing about the drug deal. That's not what we're being charged for, so that didn't matter. But here I am in jail. And I was charged with conspiracy to robbery with a dangerous weapon and robbery with a dangerous weapon. Both of those hold 220 months. So that's 480 months I was looking at. Y'all do the math. We didn't even have nothing on us. No knife, no nothing at all. But you know, all you gotta do is tell somebody something. They believe it these days. So here I am sitting in jail. I sat there for 30 days and finally got a good judge, and he actually got my bond reduced because in the statements my name was mentioned one time and then I was a passenger in that vehicle. That's it. So I sat there. It was actually 28 days, sorry. But my brother sat there like 7 months. But anyways, the charges against me got dismissed way later on down the road. But alright, so here I am, back out, and I've done been in jail a month, you know. I done sobered up off this methadone, and I didn't sleep for like a week. It was horrible. Like, so I'm off methadone now. So here I'm going back to the IV. That's what I was doing, the IV drug use. And it just progressed. I mean, I'd do any drug. I didn't care. From cocaine, I'd shoot it up. If you could melt it down, I'd shoot it up. Did not care. But I was going to have my pills for the day. Or Suboxone. Suboxone was my always go-to to not be sick. I could shoot up a quarter of a Suboxone. This Suboxone was costing $20 back then. So a quarter would last me 3 days. So I knew if can't find nothing else, I'm good. I'm not going to be sick. I can still function. Alright, so I went doing that. Boom, boom, boom. I really kind of stopped doing pills and really just did Suboxone for 3 years. And I ended up getting what they call endocarditis, which is an infection of the liner of your heart and lung. I remember I was at my brother and his wife's house. They were still married at that time. And fortunately, they were still awake because I would have died. But I went to bed or something. I remember we were using Molly and Opanas that night or something like that. But I remember I felt off earlier that day, but nothing like that. But anyways, I went to sleep. Well, I woke up and I was just shaking uncontrollably. I couldn't hardly speak. Like, it was crazy. And they heard the bed shaking, and I was hitting the wall to make noise. And I remember my ex-sister-in-law coming back there, like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And finally, after I managed to get out, dial 911. And whenever 911 got there, my temperature was 105.2. My oxygen level was 38%. I can't remember the level you die at, but I know it's in the lower 30s. And my heartbeat was 220 beats per minute. I was this close to death. And due to that, to this day, I have a damaged heart valve and a damaged lung. But so to the hospital I went, Lee County Hospital. Yeah, I don't send a dog with a scratch there. I stayed there for a few days, but I was like, y'all are sending me somewhere else. Like, I'm not being here for this. That hospital is horrible. Like, no. Especially after seeing them kill my fiance. Like, no. She had a heart murmur, and they literally kept stopping her heart pretty much. But I mean, the infection to take over her whole body. Like, the coldness don't work in my organ. But to me, like, I blamed it on them. So I did not want to be there. Not with the problems I was having. And fever still going every day. 105, 105, 104, 104. High fevers. And finally I left. Thought I was good. I wasn't. Passed out in a hotel room. Woke up. Got to my neighbors. I had a temperature. A thermometer. It was 106. Y'all tell me miracles don't happen. Well, you're looking at one. And so called 911. They got there. I didn't care about the needles laying in the hotel room. Like, there's a new law. They can't do nothing to you for that. But guess what? They can watch you. But we don't think about that, right? But anyway, so to the hospital I go. No, I'm going to Sinai gets medical advice after I get a little better. I'm getting to UNC Hospital. So I got to UNC Hospital. I was there like a month the first time. IV antibiotics every day. Had me on pain pills. I was getting Dilaudid intravenously, however you want to call it, through my IV. But I was still having drugs brought up to the hospital to me. Is that not crazy? Literally had a line right here in my arm. And they left one of the saline things in there that twist onto it. Because you can't stick a regular needle in it. So I just went to the bathroom and fixed me up a Opana or whatever. And literally be shooting up in there. Well, I'm in there for shooting up. That's how insane I was. I'm the definition of insanity. Poster boy. Look up insanity in the dictionary. You'll see my face beside it. Anyway, so they finally released me. Back again I was. I fought that for months. It was crazy. And I am lucky to be alive from that. Because there's not a high survival rate. But, so moving past that, I continued doing drugs. Continued to get worse. And finally somebody got off pills and got introduced to crack cocaine. That made me a monster. At that point, I'm doing whatever it took to get that money to go get that crack. And it doesn't even have a physical withdrawal. It's all up here. But I was shooting it up to start with. No. Yeah, I was shooting it up to start with. But I'm going to spending $200, $300, $400 a day on crack cocaine. And if you don't find the vein, guess what? You wasted it. Can't tell you how many times I had to go to the hospital, have the abscess cut open. Boils. Lanced. Anyway. But I literally one day, I'd hit every time. Same thing. The next day I wouldn't. So, this video's getting kind of long. Went on and on and on. Then I went to smoking crack. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to waste it this way. That was a whole different high. That was even more addicting. So that went on, and I remember what it was I went to jail for. I honestly can't. I was like, I'm gonna go to TROSA. It's a 2-year rehab in Durham, North Carolina. I'm gonna go there. So the judge said, all right, if you go here, if you go through the program, we'll drop the charges. It was a misdemeanor. It wasn't nothing major, but still, I wanted to get help. I did. But I stayed about a year and I left. I thought I had it under control. Got a nice little car. It was a bad little Scion TC I had. And was going to stay in Durham in an Oxford house. Well, I had to go back home to show off. You know how us are. We have to show the people we used to hang around with that are still doing the same crap how great we're doing. Flex on them. Well, guess what? I'm right back doing the same thing I was doing. Gotta change your people, places, and things. Gotta change your whole environment. Because birds of a feather flock together. But anyway, so kept on, ended up pawning a chainsaw. 2 chainsaws. Sorry, from my grandparents. They had like 6 or 7. And they got tired of the crap. I'd go and get them. I'd go get them back out, you know, whatever. Sometimes my grandma would actually see they were gone, notice it, and she'd take me up there to get them back. You know, but anyways. So, that was the time I did it, and they pressed charges, and they were felonies. How? It wasn't a value over $1,000, so forget the statues and stuff. Whatever. Anyways, so I'm back in jail. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go to TROSA again. I stayed another year. So I did do the 2-year program, technically, just not consecutively. I did it my way. What's new, right? And I got out. No, I got in some trouble there for something, for leading somebody on how to get energy drinks. I got them in contact with the same person, and they have slate cleanings, all these other things. I got brought up. Well, it stopped with me. I ain't never been no snitch, and, you know, never will be. Anyway, I still don't mess with the police too much because these traffic tickets I got just recently have really threw my life off a little bit, but it got handled. But that's besides the point. So, anyway, went back to TROSA, stayed a year, slate cleaning. It's like, nope, I was actually on probation at this time. You can do probation at TROSA. You know, it's part of my probation. So, I called the PO. She won't in office. I said, hey, I'm leaving. I had a cell phone and everything. You know, I had to be on that crud money with the moving company, where they tip you. They tip you for the work you did, but you weren't allowed to keep it. You gotta get that over to TROSA. Don't get me started talking about TROSA. Legal slavery. Anyway. But, anyway, TROSA saved millions of lives, but I just don't believe in the way they do it. But anyway, that's my opinion. Okay, that's all that is. But now the second time, so I had to go to jail. So I went to jail. And here comes all my TROSA buddies coming in behind me, like, what's up, dude? Like, yo, what's up? I was in there 45 days, and they told me I had to finish up I was on 2 years probation, so I had to finish out my probation. Well, I had to finish the Oxford House program. That was a way for me not to pay probation fees and stuff like that, because all those were waived because I was in TROSA. Well, there is no actual program. You can stay at an Oxford House for the rest of your life if you want to. There's no set time. Like, you complete 3 months, you're good. Like, no. Well, I went to some sober houses in Durham and decided to not go back to Sanford for a while. I eventually got a car. I was working. You know, and I've been sober ever since. I've only technically got 2 years, technically. And some change because I did relapse for like a week. If a week. During that, but had 17 months then. It can happen that fast. But, so I stayed in the sober houses in the structured environment until I felt like I was ready and could actually go out to the world on my own. Some other things happened there too, where anyways, but, I decided I was going to go. And my soon-to-be uncle-in-law has some rental properties. He's renting out to shutdown workers. They come up to Roxborough to work at these plants and stuff. They travel all around doing work. Anyway, so a room became available. And he was willing to rent it out to me for $700 a month, I believe it was, or six. I believe it was seven, actually. Well, then when my fiance moved in, the shutdown worker was gone. No, he was still here when she moved in the first time. Yeah, she was still here. Well, he was. So that actually dropped my rent. We had to pay $600 combined. So 3 and 3 for everything included. Okay, cool. And I'm gonna shorten this up real quick. I still wasn't thinking clearly. I went through a very toxic relationship in my sobriety, and it was a living hell. Girl cheated on me that I'm aware of for a solid year when I was nothing but faithful to this person. And then I met my fiance, who I actually met at a funeral that her sponsor brought her to, who was a guy I knew from the sober houses I was still staying in. That's how I met my fiance. She started dating one of my friends because I was with this devil. I was dating the devil at the time, the devil's daughter. Anyway, but that's when we met, and she'd come over to his house, and we talked more and talked more. I mean, we had a spark from the beginning, like, and no, she never cheated on him. They actually broke up. Well, I was trying to get out of this situation with this girl because it was so toxic and so bad, but she was so vindictive and spiteful, and still is. Like, shoo. Literally I have her number blocked. I don't know how she got my number, but I have a business page for my lawn care company, and it is listed on there, so she could have got it from there. I mean, I blocked her whole family, anybody she knows that's on my Facebook, anybody she may know. Like, it's insane. I had a missed block call from her, and it'll still show up. Literally, like, last week. Showed my fiance, and I'm like, what the world? But supposedly she's engaged. Hey, happy for you. Leave me alone. I'm getting married this May. But just because you get sober, people, life don't get easier. You actually you feel pain, real emotion. There's no covering that up no more. There's no putting it on the back burner. You have to deal with it. And it hurts. This last year, 2019, was a living hell for me. And it started because of my own decisions. Because I ran back to that toxic person and cheated on my fiance a couple of times. And she found out. But she stuck by me. I ended up having to move out though. And moved in these apartments, and I was a super there, took care of the lawns, all this, and I was just a man around there, and he ended up taking out a civil suit on me because he moved me into a black mold infested apartment that had no heater broke, had natural gas leaks in it, all sorts of stuff, so take out a civil suit on me. And that was my fault, even though when I moved in, it wasn't. Fortunately, I'm smart enough to record every phone conversation off of another phone. Didn't work out well for him, but I did have to move out. Moved into another house. Come to find out, that place wasn't what I thought it was. Literally selling ass out of the house. Another person was, like, pimping girls out, a female, selling drugs, all this, while I'm back in this other bedroom that's separated to the house but kind of off. That's not a good environment for somebody who's sober. So my fiance, who was still seeing me, talked to her aunt and uncle, and they gave me a chance. And they seen the improvement in me. But it still has just been thing after thing after thing after thing after thing. With materialistic things, with truck messing up, to this, to that, to that, to this, Like, I started my business in like October or something, the off season, and it took off way more than I thought it would. Look it up, Everlasting Lawns, Landscape and Maintenance. Google it. Click on it, go to my Facebook page. I'm rated 5 stars. I'm competing with the big dogs. That's crazy. But I'm just, that's a short story. Like, there's quite a bit left out, but to anybody who's out there that is still in their active addiction, there's no time right now to quit. There's no time right now to finally stop, but you have got to want it, just like you want that drug or what the alcohol or whatever it may be. You've got to want to quit like you want the high, or you're never going to do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I got so tired of hearing people say that. Like, screw you. Like, that must be nice. I'm glad you can do it. No, anybody can do it. And I'll tell you what, after you do it, the life that you'll have after it is well worth it. Do I have a crap ton of money in the bank? No, not at all. Do I have a truck, some equipment, this, that, things like that, materialistic things? Yeah, sure. Do I have any food in my refrigerator? Barely. I literally work full-time on my own business, and I'm doing YouTube. And I only pay $300 a month for rent, everything included. And my fiance pays another $300. I'm even 2 months behind in rent right now because of all of the things that have happened recently. With a traffic ticket to another traffic ticket to kind of being manipulated into taking a plea for careless and reckless, and them trying to take my license from me then. Didn't know that suspended the license, pay a lawyer $1,000 to take care of it. He got the case reopened, but that's all he's done. And we're waiting and playing our plan out, but I do still have my license. But that $1,000 hurt. Trust me. I have no credit. But anyways, people, I'm just telling you, life doesn't get easier because you are clean. You're not using. And just because you're not using doesn't make you a better person. You still have to change you. There's plenty of dry drunks. There's plenty of dry addicts. You can be not using, but still act like that same piece of crap you were because you're not changing that mentality, the way you think about things, the way you react to situations, the way you talk, like, the way you think everything. You've got to change it all, and it comes with time. Again, I've got 2 years right now consecutively, well, that's some months, but in November 15th, we'll make 3 years. But, like I said, that little week didn't throw me all off on track on, what I know I have to do. And every day, I have to just try to be better. I have to be better today than I was yesterday. And I'm going to try to be better tomorrow than I was today. Whether I just change one little thing or how I can react to a situation. Those are the little things you got to look at to actually start seeing a change in your sober life to your active addiction life. So there's the short story. And I don't even know if this is going to upload because it's over 30 minutes long. YouTube has their limits on us newbies, but I'll post it to Facebook if it won't go on YouTube. But anyway, much love to y'all. And to any addict out there that needs any advice, feel free to comment in the comment section below. And yeah, that's about it. So,